Hello and welcome to Alexplained. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be talking about shield slingers. That's right, Captain America's, plural. On Falcon and Winter Soldier, so far the only other person besides Steve Rogers to actually carry the shield in an official capacity is John Walker. Now, although he did carry it in the comics for a short while, there were several others who've gone by the stars and stripes that we've all come to know and love, even as Canadians. So I'll be taking a look at the ones in continuity, because if it wasn't in continuity, there would be just not enough time in the world to tell you about it. Let's take it back to World War II. Captain America and the Invaders used to pal around with a bunch of other super folks in Europe to fight Hitler and his cronies. I call them cronies, but they're just Nazis. Superpowered Nazis too. So one of the folks that helped them out was the Spirit of 76. Yeah, Spirit of 76. As a Canadian, that doesn't really mean anything, but to fellow Americans, I'm sure it's something important. Anyhow, after Captain America disappeared following his plane bombing, explosion, disappearance, sinking under the Arctic water,
we'll have the band play something slow.
President Truman decided to create another Captain America. No super soldier serum, just a shield and the outfit. And that person was, yeah, you guessed it, the Spirit of 76. Spirit of 76 Cap only lasted 1 year, however, as he was killed by an evil android called Adam 2. Now, if this were the 2000s, we all know he'd be called Adam version 2.0. That joke aside, there was a superhero waiting in the rafters, ready to take up the mantle of Captain America, and his name was the Patriot. Now, the Patriot is yet another superhero to help out the invaders and Captain America in World War II all over Europe. After having heard of the second Captain America's death, he took up the mantle and he lasted an unprecedented 15 years. He's the second longest running Captain America in history. Way to go, Patriot. Now let's move on to the man with the iron wink, John Walker, US Agent, Captain America. He started his superhero career as Super Patriot, take that Patriot, and he ran around with his gang called the Bold Urban Commandos. We'll get back to that. Around this time, Marvel Editorial wanted to shake things up, and they forced Captain America to give up the shield and the uniform. Reason being was that the government wasn't too fond about having a private citizen act on his own accord while representing the United States. So if Cap and when Cap kills a terrorist, it would look kind of bad on the US that somebody's acting in a non-official capacity. Yeah, they'd rather have their international killing done on the books. Well, the United States government found their man in John Walker. So do you remember the Bold Urban Commandos? Right, they were a trio that would help out Super Patriot, fight crime, and just basic superheroics. Well, John Walker thought it would be a great idea to give them names. And their names were Battlestar, Left Winger, and Right Winger. Things quickly turned sour for John Walker once he realized he was being manipulated by the Red Skull. After a one-on-one fight with the OG, Steve Rogers, John Walker had no other choice but to give back the shield and the uniform to the man who deserved it all along. But we're all the better for it because we got US Agent out of that exchange. For the next Captain America, we're going to have to talk about the death of Steve Rogers. So right after Civil War, Steve Rogers was arrested by Iron Man. Before dying, Steve wrote a letter to Tony Stark imploring him to help Bucky. So Tony mulled over this letter for a few weeks, and he decided to help Bucky become Captain America. Bucky Cap actually lasted quite a while, as he led the Avengers through some major crossover events, like Secret Invasion with those stupid Skrulls, and Siege against a crazy Norman Osborn. However, his luck would end at Fear itself, when he was killed in action. Or a life model decoy was actually killed in action, and everybody thought he was dead, but really he wasn't. And by that point, Steve Rogers came back to life. Right, he came back to life. So it turns out that Cap was really shot by a time-traveling bullet that sent him hurtling backwards in time. Well, he got out of that, came back to the present, and was just fine, and regained the mantle of Captain America once again. Now let's talk about Steve Rogers' other best friend, the Falcon, aka Sam Wilson. So following a fight with the Iron Nail, Steve Rogers' super soldier serum was drained out of him, leaving him an old man. Since he was, old and, I'm not gonna say useless, but I bet you're thinking that. Steve had to give up the shield and the uniform, and who better to replace him but Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Sam even got himself a sidekick by the name of the Falcon. Yeah, that's right, someone stepping on his own toes. And that Falcon was none other than Joaquin Torres. If that sounds familiar, that's because he's appearing in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show right now.
Out of here, come on.
So Sam had a really good run. He got to lead the Avengers through some tough times, but it all ended at Secret Empire. Do you remember that one-page panel that had Captain America saying, "Hail Hydra"?
Hail Hydra.
Everyone hated it. Well, it actually turned into a pretty good crossover event, Secret Empire. Steve Rogers and Hydra took over the United States of America, and they were hell-bent on world domination. The good guys managed to bring back the OG Steve Rogers to beat up the evil Hydra one, because they couldn't have done it without him. After these events unfolded, Sam Wilson thought it was best to give the shield and uniform back to Steve Rogers, because he lost a lot of goodwill with the people, and he thought that Steve could reclaim a lot of that back just by being himself. And it worked. Although that's it for the men who have replaced Steve Rogers as Captain America, I'd like to point out one more person who is a bona fide shield slinger, and it's my favorite. It is none other than Superman. Now I know you might be thinking, oh, that's out of continuity. But you know what? That's debatable. In the 2000s, JLA and the Avengers had a big crossover, and it actually leaked into some comics of Justice League of America. So, hey, to me, it happened. So for those watching Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney+, what did you think of these shield slingers? I know John Walker's holding the shield right now, but do you think it's gonna last? Let us know in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week on Alexplained.